Today I'm taking you on a journey. This isn't going to be like any journey because we're going to an alternate reality. The place we're going is the Backrooms. I'm certain you're gonna like it here. If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum humbus, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has hurt you. Today we're taking a deep dive in the Backrooms Iceberg, explaining all 9 tiers. But while exploring the Backrooms, why not make some extra money? That's why I like to introduce you to today's sponsor, Honeygain. Do you want to cover your subscriptions every month by earning passive income? Then hear me out as Honeygain can help you do this. Honeygain is an easy way to earn some extra money by sharing your internet connection. Honeygain won't make you rich, but it will cover small purchases like a monthly Netflix or Spotify subscription. All you have to do is install Honeygain on your device and run the app in the background. The app doesn't collect any personal data. Instead, it uses the internet to gather information, such as who's offering the best prices. This includes things such as plane tickets or clothing. Don't worry, Honeygain is a legitimate service as more than 2,000 people endorsed Honeygain on Trustpilot. There's even a daily lucky pot that can win you up to $10. Sign up for Honeygain now by using promo code CreepyDemon to get your starting gift of $5. Thank you to Honeygain for sponsoring this video. I would also like a moment to thank Reddit user LCY2K07 for answering many questions about his iceberg. I can honestly say that I couldn't have made this video without him. It would be awesome if you check out his YouTube channel, Lucky Luck YT, or his iceberg post. Link to both will be in the description. A small warning, this video contains some disturbing images and stories, so beware if you're easily disturbed. Before we start, I would like to thank everyone watching for watching my videos, it really means a lot. If you enjoy this content, please like this video so I can continue making it. Thanks to Honeygain for sponsoring me and thanks to LCY2K07 for helping me out. Let's start with the iceberg. The Backrooms is an alternate reality that has an extensive lore. There are levels that you visit with one stranger than the other. I'm going to explain some concepts before we start so that everyone is up to speed. No-clipping. No-clipping is a term that originates from video games and it basically means that you phase through certain objects. If you no-clip in real life, you will usually end up in level 0 of the Backrooms. No-clipping can be done by walking through walls, entering misplaced doors or windows, or interacting with other strange objects that seem to be glitched in our reality. Levels. The alternate reality we know as the Backrooms has many different levels, ranging from safe to extremely dangerous. Different groups of levels are normal levels, enigmatic levels, and sub-levels. Enigmatic levels. Enigmatic levels are areas in the Backrooms which don't have an ordinal placement and are very mysterious in nature. This includes negative levels, levels that go below 0. Sub-levels. Sub-levels are related to their parent level but are their own distinct level. Sub-layers. Sub-layers are similar to sub-levels but are too small to be considered their own level. They can usually be found inside of an existing level. Entities. Entities are beings that live inside the Backrooms. Each entity is classified with a number, has unique behavior and habitats. Anything living in the Backrooms that isn't a person can be classified as an entity. I will briefly explain a few common ones. The windows. The windows are known as creatures in the shape of a window. Windows have a figure inside that points at the target. If the target is unaware of this creature, it will attack immediately. Death moths. Death moths are giant moths that are mostly harmless and are sometimes tameable. Then we have hounds. Hounds are dog-like entities crawling on all fours. Their behavior is highly aggressive. Smiler. Smilers are generally hostile. They can be identified by their reflective eyes and teeth that gleam in the dark. In order to escape a smiler, you should keep eye contact. Crawlers. A crawler is a name for an entity affected by an anonymous species of fungus. The growth of this fungus is very aggressive, making crawlers an extremely active threat in the Backrooms. Groups. The Backrooms is mainly a place of isolation, but here and there are groups and small communities of people that can be found. A few well-known ones are the Backrooms Remodeling Company, the MEG, and Backrooms Robotics. Backrooms Remodeling Company is a mysterious military group that remodel and improve levels in the backrooms. Their motive is mysterious, but they are friendly. The MEG is an abbreviation for the Major Explorer Group. This is currently the largest faction in the backrooms with their goal of finding an escape. They are spread in small groups over many different levels, making maps and gathering information to list on public databases. Backrooms Robotics is a group of people that develop tech-related items for inside of the backrooms. Their intentions aren't clear for now. Survival difficulty. All known levels in the backrooms are classified with a survival difficulty. These range from 0 to 5, with 0 meaning the level is safe, secure and devoid of entities. 5 means that the level is unsafe, unsecure and is infested with entities. Levels can also have a class unknown difficulty. Whenever I'm talking about a level, I will show this difficulty with a symbol in the lower right corner. Objects. Objects are items that can be found inside of the backrooms. They are all classified with their own number. A very common object found in the backrooms is almond water. I will explain this object later. Let's start with the first layer. The front rooms. The front rooms is what we perceive as planet Earth. Whenever we refer to the front rooms, we refer to Earth and thus our home reality. You can no-clip out of the front rooms to get into the backrooms. The same can be done inside the backrooms. Original level 0 and level 1. The original level 0 and level 1 are a bit different than the present level 0 and level 1. The original level 0 is of course the famous yellow moist carpet level with a low buzzing sound and rooms that keep on repeating. This level was famous for its 600 million square mile size. The original level 1 was very similar to level 0 with yellowish concrete walls that sometimes lacked paint. Level 1 was known to sometimes have a low hanging fog and sometimes the lights would turn off. Level 0 and 1 rewrite. The new level 0 is similar to the original, but it has some notable changes. It still has a low buzzing sound and a yellow moist carpet, but no two rooms are the same, making this level way scarier. The level is not linear anymore, and walking in a straight line won't cause you to return to your starting point. Hallucinations in level 0 are common. The only exit from level 0 is no clipping, causing you to appear in level 1. Level 1 is a large, sprawling warehouse that features concrete floors, exposed rebar, and low-hanging fog. Level 1 has a constant supply of water and electricity. The level is known for having crates with vital items for survival. These crates can contain clothing, weaponry, food, almond water, and batteries. It is advised to carry a light source because the light in level 1 is known to flicker and sometimes completely fails. Entities are rare. Level 1 is also home to the hub, a concrete tunnel that can bring you to various levels in the backrooms. Level 1 is known to have some bases. If you continue to explore the level, you will find yourself in an extended hallway that leads to level 2. Canon backroom levels. The wiki.dot has a lot of levels listed that can be found inside the backrooms. The canon backroom levels refer to the first 9 levels, meaning levels 0 through 8. These levels are said to be confirmed. Any levels past these 9 are said to be beyond our means of understanding. These first 9 levels are also the few levels that have a linear connection to each other, meaning that level 0 can lead you to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. I already went over level 0 and 1, so I will go over the other levels quickly and I will explain more in depth later. Level 2 consists out of a dark and grey maintenance tunnel. The survival difficulty is 2 and there is a low entity count. Level 3 has long twisting hallways that can be very narrow. Level 3 is very large and is similar to level 0 in level structure. Level 4 has a medium entity count. Level 4 is an office building that is completely empty and is almost devoid of furniture. It has a lot of windows with most of them being blacked out. Level 5 is known as the Infinite Hotel. The hotel's interior design stems from the 1930s and it's filled with 1920s decorations and furniture. Level 5 has the main hall, the Eternal Ballroom and the Boiler Room. You can hear a quiet, smooth jazz playing all throughout the level. Level 6 is made out of hallways with brick floors and metallic walls and is shrouded in darkness. It is impossible to see other people in this level. Level 7 is known as level Thalassophobia because the whole level is basically a large ocean of distilled water. Then we have level 8, which is an infinite cave system. Stalagmites are very common in this level. Almond water. Almond water is known as Object 1 inside of the Backrooms. It is arguably the most common object and is the main source of hydration. Almond water has a distinct smell of vanilla and rose water, and it tastes very sweet. It is nice to have a distinction because a lot of liquids found inside the Backrooms aren't safe to drink and can be outright dangerous. Almond water is also known to sometimes treat ailments. Russian Wiki. The main and best source for information about the Backrooms comes from the Wikidot. The original Wikidot is in English, but this entry refers to the Russian Wikidot version that is also available. Backrooms subreddit. There's also a Backrooms subreddit which has some Backrooms lore in it. The subreddit is usually filled with liminal space photos. However, some popular posts are very cool, such as this remake of Level 0 in Minecraft. The End. The End is an enigmatic level that is well known as a trap level. The level itself is an endless modern library that often gives wanderers the illusion of escape. This illusion is created by the large letters at the main point in the level spelling either the end or the end is near. The end is shrouded in complete silence and it's extremely hard to leave. If you keep walking in one direction, you will loop. This level is also known to have a lot of no-clipping, causing you to enter the end's fake realities. These fake realities are sub-areas in the level that replicate familiar environments for the wanderer. If you are close to a fake reality, it will begin to blend in with your environment. If you walk through the border of fake reality, you will find yourself back in the end. The end is a small group of 6 people that are known as the junkies. They are not open to trading unless you have any amount of memory juice. Memory juice is an object in the Backrooms that is highly addictive and has similar effects to alcohol and weed. The junkies are stuck inside the end and want memory juice in order to attempt to make themselves believe that they are home. Liminal Archives. Liminal Archives is another wiki site that has many great pages dedicated to the lore of the Backrooms. These pages contain information about levels, entities, objects, and level elements. Chairs. Chairs can provide a quick exit in some backroom levels. If you are able to break a wall inside level 0 or level 1, you can sometimes come across a small room with a dim or malfunctioning hanging light with a chair inside of it. These rooms sometimes contain a granola bar or almond water. Jumping on a chair inside this room will usually bring you to another level. Liminal spaces. If you are at least a little bit familiar with the Backrooms, you are familiar with the phenomenon called a liminal space. Liminal spaces are usually photos of spaces that are abandoned, empty, and give off a weird nostalgic feeling that your mind is likely making up. Liminal space literally means a space in between something, a threshold. This relates to the Backrooms, which is an alternate reality in between realities. A lot of photos you will find from levels in the Backrooms are liminal spaces. These photos feel dreamlike, uncanny, glitchy, and are usually dim lit and have low quality in order to pursue this feeling. Entering beyond level 2. From my perspective, there are multiple ways to view the Backrooms. A Backroom purist would say that the real Backrooms is only level 0. A traditionalist would say that it consists out of the first 3 levels, level 0, 1 and level 2. The lore expands on this by adding way more levels beyond level 2. This is probably why entering beyond level 2 is a bit different than entering the traditional levels. Level 0 can only be entered by no clipping, and level 1 can only lead you to level 2 if you explore the level for long enough. From level 2 and onwards, existing levels usually require to enter some kind of threshold. Exiting level 2 can be done by entering one of the doors. These lead to either level 3 or level 4. Removal of quantum stable levels. Level 0 through 8 were known as the quantum stable levels for a long time on the Wikidot. Quantum stable levels were the main levels of the Backrooms because they had the most information about them. In addition, these were considered the starting levels, being the very first one you visit. The quantum levels were also theorized to have the highest chance of survival, and they were also the most stable levels. The Wikidot later changed it in making levels 0 through 8 belong to the normal level list and thus removing the quantum stable levels. Level 141. Level 141 is known as the boiling room. This level can be very dangerous because the temperature can go up to 56 degrees Celsius or 132 Fahrenheit. The whole level is made up of a boiling room, containing pipes that all have the number 141 on them. A special heat protection suit is highly advised because of the extreme heat and the common gas leaks in this level. You can find these heat protection suits in the employee break rooms, which are special rooms inside 141, often containing deceased employees. These break rooms can also function as an exit for the level. The level is also home to Entity 6, the Dollars, which are strange creatures that appear dark, grey and humanoid. They attack by no-clipping their arm through the opposite wall of where you are standing. Level 141 has many boiler room parts, and these are connected by the tunnels. The tunnels are less hot than the rest of the level, but pipes alongside the walls can have leaks. If you ever hear a leaking noise, you should immediately run in the opposite direction. The level also has fueling rooms and the cold boiler area. The cold boilers are the opposite of the normal boiler room, where the temperature can drop as low as minus 57 degrees Celsius or minus 70 Fahrenheit. There are no employee break rooms here because they are frozen over with a pile of snow. Dollars usually freeze to death in the cold boilers. Level 141 is also known to have a blackout event, which occurs in any area of level 141 within 1 to 5 weeks. The event will cause an immediate blackout, meaning everything stops working. This will cause the temperatures to drop to a nice 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit, so a blackout can be beneficial. You will need a flashlight to see during a blackout event. The event can be stopped if you find a backup power switch inside an employee break room. The most common entrance for level 141 is no clipping into level 5 boilers room or entering via level 11 or level 2. Exits can be found in the tunnels behind doors with numbers on them. The door will bring you to the level with that number. Backrooms tech support. The Backrooms tech support refers to a Discord related to the Backroom Wikidot. The Discord is great if you want to have lore related discussions or if you're looking to write some pages on the Wikidot yourself. Level 9. Level 9 is known as the infinite suburban area. The level's time setting is always at or around midnight and it has a darkness that is similar to level 6, but less dangerous. The houses in the area vary in design and size and appear to be furnished and fairly new. Level 9 is deemed extremely dangerous because of the many entities it contains. It has death mobs, smilers, skin stealers, hounds and other various entities. The streets of the level are the most dangerous. The most common way to enter level 9 is falling through the floor in level 8. Exiting the level can be done by following the arrow street signs. This will lead you to 11 soon. Walkways leading to grass fields will bring you to level 10 or 9.1. The thing on level 7. I already briefly covered level 7, but I will explain the level more thoroughly. As said, level 7 is known as the thalassophobia level because of the abundance of water. It actually hasn't been explored by that many people because it's really hard to do so. The water in level 7 is extremely cold and is distilled rather than being salt or fresh water. You enter level 7 in a fully furnished living room that has a shallow pool of water. You can enter the main area of level 7 by walking through the single door that leads to a staircase. When you reach the top of the staircase, you will be greeted by an endless, gigantic ocean made of entirely distilled water. This is where you might, but hopefully not, meet the thing on level 7. The thing on level 7 is known as Entity 20 and is a gigantic snake-like figure that is estimated to be around 11,000 meters or 36,000 feet long. The thing on level 7 is extremely dangerous to wanderers and ate all the other living beings in the ocean. The thing is immortal because it has insane regenerative abilities. Clusters. A cluster is the name of a group of levels that usually has 1000 levels in them. The most well-known cluster is Cluster 1, containing levels 0 to 999. Level 200. Level 200 is the nicest town you've ever seen. The level is completely devoid of entities and has 4000 residents. Once you enter level 200, you will be greeted by what seems to be a very nice old man. He tells you that you will get to know all the residents in town and shows you around. During the tour, the man explains that the town of level 200 has rot, but it only grows when you notice it. He later tells you that rot only grows whenever you are not around in level 200. All of this makes leaving level 200 nearly impossible, because all of the residents are preventing you from leaving. Entrances and exits. Why would you care about that? The hub variations. Information on variations of the hub is scarce, but there is some. The normal hub is confirmed, but there are theories on there being more than one. As told already, level 141 has tunnels that are sometimes referred to as the Bright Hub because it basically has the same purpose as the normal hub. There have also been theories that suggest there is a Deep Hub and a Dark Hub. Backrooms Fandom. The Backrooms Fandom is another wiki site for the Backrooms that is older than the wiki.dot itself. The site is not the best for information, but can be helpful in some cases. The reason for this is because everyone can edit it. Because of this, a lot of information you find in the fandom is non-canon. Level 512. Level 512 was generated by an AI, as you see on the wiki.dot. It is a standard house with a kitchen, bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. The house is fully furnished. The refrigerator has an unlimited supply of food and beverage and is restocked daily. The entrance point to the level seems to be terminated and exits are unknown. The log on the bottom of the page says the level stability is low and that the level will commence a termination in this much time, saying 23, 43, 39, 21 and 06. I'm not exactly sure how this countdown would work, but I think you can assume it will take a while before the level will be terminated. Weird fonts. As you can tell, the wiki.dot sometimes like to use different fonts for different pages. The font seems to give some kind of personality to the story, or refer to a certain person that is talking. A great example is level 900, which is an abnormally large mattress store. The font used on the wiki.dot is very dreamy and almost makes it feel like a mattress ad. Level 6. Level 6 is known as the level that is shrouded in almost complete darkness. It is made up out of an indeterminate amount of hallways with metallic walls and brick floors. It is unknown whether the level has any entities, because hallucinations and misplaced noises are common. Seasoned wanderers regard level 6 as one of the most dangerous levels, as many wanderers who enter do not return. Going through the boiler room in level 5 can lead you to access level 6. Level 6 will lead you to level 7 if you explore deep enough. Backrooms Games. Not long after the original post in 2019, people started working on small backroom games. Some of these games have now been released, with here and there a few interesting ones. Some are pretty cool and others have not been received that well. I'm going to recommend 2 cool Backrooms games to you. The first one is known as the Backrooms game and it's free. The Backrooms game is a great game if you like exploring the original level of the Backrooms, level 0. The lightings and visuals in the games are awesome, giving off that perfect eeriness you should feel in level 0. It is simple and unnerving and does exactly how a Backrooms game should be. I highly recommend trying this game out because it really captures how the Backrooms should feel. Then we have Enter the Backrooms, which is another awesome Backrooms game. I love this game because it has many multiple levels, entities and objects you can find. There's even a whole sanity system that you will need to keep in check in order to survive. The game is very well made and can get very hard. There's also a sandbox mode if you just want to check the levels in peace. I also like how the game is pretty much on par with the canonical lore. The Hive. The Hive is an extremely dangerous, endless maze. The Hive is an enigmatic level that seems to be home to many dangerous entities. You will find alien-like eggs everywhere you look. It is also very hard to breathe due to the low oxygen. Wanderers have witnessed eggs hatch with hounds, crawlers and death mobs. The Hive is known to an unknown entity known as the High Queen. A wanderer stated that it might be able to enter the Hive if you fall through the floor in level 6. The tunnels in the walls of the caverns can sometimes work as an exit. User/Bartonius. User/Bartonius is a very prominent wanderer and explorer in the Backrooms community. Bartonius is the leader of the Backroom Boys, a tiny group that consists out of 7 members when it was created. The group started on level 4 and now has proved level 8 and 9. Many members of this group have disappeared, with it now consisting out of only 2 members. Backrooms YouTubers. There are a few cool Backrooms YouTubers and some of them continue to make videos today. A few of my favorite ones are Mr. Backrooms, Mr. Ferrante, JR the Kid RS and Swiftbit. They all make and have made cool explanation videos about the Backrooms, so check them out if you're interested. Backrooms Wi-Fi. The Backrooms actually has its own Wi-Fi as well as cellular data. This is why you can find posts from people that are inside the Backrooms on Reddit. It is however recommended that you only use the cellular data instead of the Wi-Fi, because there are theories of entities being able to find you easier if you use the Wi-Fi. Deleted levels. There are actually a ton of deleted levels on the wiki.dot. The wiki.dot is very well preserved because a page can get deleted if it's on 5 downvotes. This makes it safe to assume that most of the levels that were deleted were badly written. A lot of the negative levels have been removed, but some normal ones too. One example is the removal of level 80, which I find strange because the level seems fine to me. Level 80 was a long road in a desert in the American Midwest. The heat in this level is unbearable, reaching 51 degrees Celsius or 124 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. The level also has vending machines that contain almond water. This is pretty much all there is to level 80, so not that much. Completely rebranded levels. We already talked about how levels 0 and 1 were rebranded on the Wikidot, but those levels aren't the only ones. The Wikidot actually used the fandom for a lot of the early levels, but rebranded most of them. Their goals were to make the levels feel more like the Backrooms and ultimately trying to recreate the senseless feeling of level 0. A good example of this rebranding is level 14. According to the fandom, level 14 is an abandoned military hospital. This level is fine, but I like the Wikidot version way more. The real level 14 is a red leaf forest. Here's the level's description. Level 14 is an oasis. The forest from your dreams shimmering in the night. Close your eyes for a moment. You can see it, right? The crashing waterfalls. The crimson grass wet with dew. The eternally starlit sky. Even the branches on the trees reach up as if trying to touch it. You can hear the forest whispering to you. You'll be happy here, you're sure of it. After all, everyone else is, and why should you feel down when others are so content? Level Achromatopsia. Level Achromatopsia is a very interesting enigmatic level in the Backrooms. It gets the name Achromatopsia because of all the visuals that are in black and white. This level resembles the place that you have been in for the longest amount of time. The level switches forms of houses that you have been inside in all your life. It's assumed that whenever you see an entity, the level will shift into another form. During the level you will hear whispers that usually say things about your childhood. These voices are always recognizable, but you can't always place them. They can get louder and more clear and can cause the wanderer to get very depressed. This level has many shifts. During the 100th shift, you will experience major flashbacks. These flashbacks are memories from your childhood and make you forget you were in the Backrooms in the first place. Entrances and exits are very obscure and not well known. Level 444. Level 444 is known as one of the most difficult levels to travel through. It is an unstable level that suffers from structural shifts every 47 to 57 minutes. The path will change and the entire layout will be different. After shift events you will come across similarities such as a yellow wall similar to level 0's, windows showing the highway of level 11 and sometimes even the skull of the Thing on level 7. Level 444 is crowded with entities such as death moths, hounds, skin stealers, smilers and crawlers. One way to enter the level is by going through a slightly damaged door in level -1. A wooden door inside the level can be your exit. Entity 106. This entity is known as the Tall Shadow and is exclusive to level -8. Level -8 is an infinite abandoned mine that gets darker the further you go. Every 100 meters there's a split with 3 to 6 directions you can go to. Entity 106 is known to harm you within this level. He only moves to your peripheral vision and he has red glowing eyes whenever he is about to attack. The Tall Shadow likes to scare wanderers before it attacks. He can also no-clip and he uses this skill to attack wanderers from behind. Level 0 to 9 images removed. Many images from the level 0 to level 9 on the Wikidot were removed and then replaced with a completely new and better photo. Here's the level 3 photo that changed dramatically, for instance. The Shady Grey. The Shady Grey is a big enigmatic level that is made up out of many unstable and dangerous sublevels. All the levels are in black and white and only 8 of them have been found. The most stable section of the Shady Grey is level S0. This is a jungle with a lot of glitched trees. The level has a 12-hour day-night cycle where it instantly changes into night or day. The level also has a lot of entities at night. If you take a branch and draw a pentagram in the mud, you will enter level 11. Level 11 is a very unstable black and white mansion. This level has one entity known as the Landlord. The Landlord is incredibly dangerous as he will try to kill you in a twisted way the moment he sees you. If you break down the door in the mansion, you will enter level 22. This level is large and is a thick forest that is covered in snow. This doesn't make any sense at all because the temperature is very high here. Not many people die here, but those who do die to sunburn. 2-2 has an entity known as Fallen Angels. If you ask them, they can bring you to level 3-3. Level 3-3 is an infinite ocean filled with clocks that float around in it. The ocean contains distilled water mixed with what might be mercury and motor oil. The major explorer group has found 4 different kinds of clocks in the ocean: analog clocks, digital clocks, watches, and grandfather clocks. All of these clocks have different abilities that trigger whenever you touch them. If you touch an analog clock, you will enter the final stable sublevel known as level 4-4. Level 4-4 is an endless river surrounded by skyscrapers on both sides. Never break into these skyscrapers because they are infested with entities. There is no known way to escape level 4-4. You can only accidentally no-clip, bringing you to the Last Hope. The Last Hope has no stability, unlike the other sublevels. This sublevel has very wobbly and disorienting walls. Most wanderers that enter usually have their body ripped apart at an atomic level. This level and anything beyond it is lethal. You can go deeper than the Lost Hope, entering a level named Far and the End. The End is hell in the way that everyone imagines it. Level 71. Level 71 is an infinite basement which is largely unfinished. No one has ever discovered any walls that support the ceiling besides the entrance. Level 71 will, like other levels, appear in black and white. Every 14 to 16 hours you will hear echoes that resembles the sound of a fond memory you have. The source of these echoes is unknown. Level 71 supposedly has 3 communities, but these are unknown at the moment. One way to enter level 71 is by finding a basement in level 4. The entire page of level 71 reads like an information log of one of the MEG computers. The exit to level 71 seems to be the shady grey, as it depicts a wanderer that fades out of reality. Level and entity specific Reddit accounts. The subreddit likes to enhance the Backrooms lore with lore-specific Reddit accounts. One of his accounts is Backrooms Soldier Logs, who makes posts for a community that classifies certain entities and objects found in the Backrooms. There's also a level-specific Reddit account, such as user Backrooms level 0, but at the time of writing, it seems like this user got the banhammer. Level 666. Level 666 is known as Hell, and always has a sign that says, "Welcome to Hell." This level uses manifestations, meaning that the level is different for every wanderer. Every manifestation is based on the wanderer's fears, vulnerabilities, and insecurities. These manifestations are classified by DEALS, an acronym for Destruction, Entities, Audio, Lightning, and Sanity. Destruction describes the environmental dangers, Entities describe the frequency of entities, Audio describes the level of ambient noise, Lightning describes the amount of natural light, and Sanity describes the mental danger a wanderer can experience. All of these assets range from harmless to fatal. There are some manifestations documented, such as Manifestation 2. Background. The wanderer in this manifestation had a close family member die in a car accident before entering the Backrooms, and this left an impression on them. Deals rating: D2, E1, A3, L2, S1. Entry point: level 80. The wanderer entered via the universal entry point in the level. Signage. The signage that is characteristic of the universal entry point was present. Description. The manifestation consisted of a rough, bumpy road, but somewhat different to the road of the wanderer had just traveled. The sky was red instead of its usual blue. The wanderer was at the driver's seat and was talking to an MEG official who was outside of the level through the radio. The family member who died in the car accident also boarded the car in the back seat, presumed to be an entity. The car could not be stopped, no matter what was done to slow it down. Outcome. After approximately 5 minutes of driving, the piece of land the wanderer was driving on completely disappeared. The car fell off approximately 300 feet before colliding with the ground, killing the wanderer on impact. Backrooms ambience. Many levels in the Backrooms are known to have an ambience. The most famous one is of course the low buzzing noise you hear in level 0. The ambience in the levels is usually related to the theme. Backrooms time zone. Time in the Backrooms seems to impact us way differently than time in the front rooms. Some levels have a day and night cycle that usually changes every 6 hours. This is, however, very inconsistent, as there are many reports of the lights being out for up to 10 hours. The Backrooms aren't linked to any time zone we know of. Clocks and watches fail to show time. Physical time seems to move very slow because there is no need for food or water. It has been estimated that wanderers only need to eat and drink once every month in order to survive. The slow movage of physical time is also a bad thing because this means that the healing process of wounds and other injuries is close to non-existent. Even an untreated cut can be lethal because wounds will not stop bleeding on their own. This is why it's very important to bring bandages or stitches with you whenever you are exploring the backrooms. Level 6 nerfed. Level 6 actually got nerfed because level 6 used to be way more dangerous than it is right now. The old level 6 used to be a class 5 survival difficulty. What also made the old version so dangerous was the fact that if you visited the level alone, you would either die in 48 hours or become an insanity, which is a zombie-like human that went insane. Nothing at all. Level nothing at all is a hypothetical level that has been theorized to exist. The instructions of how to enter this level read the following. 1. Cover your eyes with your hands. 2. Advance 7 steps. 3. Turn around and take your hands off your face. 4. Find the nearest ladder and climb it. 5. Go down 4 steps and then back up 2. 6. Yell a number between 1 and 1572. 7. Enjoy. Smiley face. These instructions can be found on a note that lies on the floor in level 0. It has also been found hanging on the door to level 1 in the hub. Level nothing at all could be a very dangerous or a trap level for all we know. A wanderer named James supposedly entered this level and never returned. Missing level 7 sublevels. Level 7 has at this point in time 2 sublevels, known as the Titanic and the Surface Caves. These are very weirdly named, sublevel 7.2 and 7.9, so where are the other 7? Level 7.2 is the wreck of the RMS Titanic. The exterior is as long as the version in the front rooms, but the interior is at least 1 million kilometers or 622,000 miles long. Level 7.9 is an underground cave structure. The only other sublevel page that once existed was sublevel 7.1, but this one was removed. Level 7 is a very well written level, so it makes sense for people wanting to write about it. And unfortunately it doesn't mean those will be good, because the structure of the level 7 makes it difficult to add new areas. This would mean that canonically the other 7 sublevels are out there, but are yet to be discovered. Mother is a laughing, malicious entity that lives inside of level 1.5. Mother has no physical description and is spelled as thickness in the air. Mother was encountered and reported by user ChaosRaider98, and he stated that he believes that the core of level 1.5 is the melting pot of the backrooms, where all the lost souls are collected for Mother. You can tell the essence of Mother as the MEG reports logs show leakage of level 1.5 by showcasing these corrupt messages or text. It's advised to never go to level 1.5, and if you do so, leave as quickly as possible, because Mother will do anything in her power to separate your soul from your body. Level 9007-199-254-740-992. This level unfortunately got removed from the wiki, so I will have to go off my notes here. This level is an enigmatic one with a very long name. I'm going to explain the meaning behind this number, but I will do that in a later entry on this iceberg. I will refer to this level as the Garden, as it resembles an empty one. The Garden is very dangerous and infested with entities. It contains howlers, crawlers and facelings, and it's believed that some entities here mate and that the level is somehow related to the hive. Besides the infestations, being in the Garden can be very dangerous because the level causes you to have auditory hallucinations, telling you to eat certain things. You will also experience hallucinations such as seeing yourself dying. Being in here for more than 2 months can be lethal. The Garden has 2 different points. Point 1 is a mulch floor with tile ceiling. The ceiling is not connected to any walls. Point 1 is less dangerous than point 2. If you open a ceiling tile, you can enter point 2. The mulch is replaced with dirt and point 2 is absolutely filled with entities. Entry points to the Garden are pretty much unknown, besides no clipping through the wall at the end of the hub. Flipping a tile and jumping on it can cause you to no clip to level 2 or 4. GPS system in the backrooms. This entry refers to wanderers experimenting with GPS in the backrooms. A well-known fact about the backrooms is that a GPS is doomed to fail whenever a wanderer is in the backrooms. One very interesting instance of this is a Reddit post of a wanderer who is playing Pokemon Go in the backrooms. He posted a screenshot of his phone where he is trying to catch a missing no, which is a glitched Pokemon. The user goes on to explain that the missing nodes are the only type of Pokemon he is finding here. People have been saying that it is actually very dangerous to use an app which has a GPS such as Pokemon Go, as entities in the backrooms might use it to track you. Level 1.5. Level 1.5 is a mysterious sub-level discovered by user ChaosRaider98. He has written some logs, but some of these have gone corrupt since communication in level 1.5 seems to be hard since it's warped reality. One photo we have of 1.5 shows us a hallway with colors inverted in black and white. The hallway has fluorescent bulbs that radiate darkness instead of light. The logs that ChaosRaider98 has sent us probably show us that he got slowly taken over by Mother, as the last few sentences for him are: "Be free from Mother, or Mother will grant you freedom, and she will make you free. Mother loves you, Mother loves you." Hotel California. If you've ever researched the meaning behind the song Hotel California by the Eagles, you might have found that the song is about how the California high life traps its residents. The song literally tells you, you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. A post on Reddit suggests that the song Hotel California is actually about the backrooms, specifically about level 5. We have talked about level 5, but just to refresh your mind, level 5 is an infinite hotel. On a discussion page in level 5, you read this note. According to rumors, this place is supposedly a castle-like hotel in California that has clipped into the backrooms and has forgotten about ever since. Photo of level 12. Level 12 is a unique level in the sense that you cannot make a photograph in it. Every attempt of this has resulted in either a simple white image or TV static. File names and image data is censored in these photos. Level 12 has been described as a small, brightly lit, white painted room with only a table and a chair and an adjacent locked door. Many wanderers have escaped level 12 easily, but they never seem to remember the method they used due to level 12 censoring methods. All we have now is a digital recreation of level 12 that was posted on Reddit. Fake levels. Fake levels refer to the idea that the backrooms might have so-called fake rooms or areas inside a level, or just whole fake levels. These areas can be a figment of your mind and might turn into an endless reality you can't escape from. It is not clear for now how we can differentiate these fake areas from the quote-unquote real areas. Level 656. This level seems to describe itself as home. The MEG report reads like it's written by the inhabitants of 656 because it constantly breaks the fourth wall. They talk about how the level is a paradise, but people always leave. They ask if you don't miss them and if you will ever come back. It all seems somewhat genuine, but then you realize that something is definitely very off. This is how they describe the exit. Don't you remember? How do you think you left last time? Why can't you remember? Why don't you miss us? We loved you. We loved you, we loved you, we loved you, and you just forgot. You left because you wanted to touch the stars and all of our love, and care was wasted because of some stupid little fantasy. You owe us. You could at least come back. Level 404. Level 404 is known as the 404th Circle of Heaven. This level is entirely based around the numerical meaning of the computer error 404. HTTP 404 is known as the page not found error message. The level is described as a place where the planes intersect and bisect and bend in a way that a suffering hard drive breaks under the weight of the data you feed it. You will hear voices in your head and lose yourself inside the data. "You like it here," is what the geometry will whisper. 404 is a glitched version of heaven, as reality is failing in the most perfect way. Aren't you happy? Aren't you excited? You finally found your empty paradise. Come home. Discord shadow bans. This entry refers to the fact that the Discord server from the Wikidot has shadow banned a few users in their servers. It is unclear why they did this, but it did cause some drama. Non-existent levels with names. Because of the rewrites and the deletion of some levels on the Wikidot, there are some non-existent levels that still have names. This does get confusing sometimes, as some pages will refer to levels that are yet to be written. Level Theta. This level is an enigmatic level that is hosted by the embodiment that never should, could, or ever have, and is known as Terminus. Level Theta is a sanctuary, a place where your soul may rest. Terminus chooses who remains in its realm. It is also judge, jury, and executioner of a place called the Gallery, an area where all the lost souls go to. You will never leave this level. This level has some interesting meaning behind it. The being that hosts this level has the name Terminus, a name for the final point in space of time. The Greek letter theta is also a symbol for death. I feel level theta as some kind of purgatory, a place in between hell and heaven. You can't leave this level, so a version of those must exist within this place. Terminus will decide your ultimate fate, as it's literally judge, jury, and executioner. Level 696. Level 696 is fortunately a very interesting structured level. It takes the appearance of an abandoned building made up out of light grey concrete. The level has multiple buildings, all infinite in height and all infinite in floors. The name of each floor is made up out of letters and numbers, and they all have different properties. The B floors, for example, all resemble backrooms levels. This means that floor B0 looks like level 0, B1 like level 1, and so on. The level also has other interesting floors, such as floor 4, which has a lot of element water, or floor -61 that looks like a bright version of level 6. If you break the ground floor, you will end up in a basement, where there are negative floors. The further you go down, the more distorted everything will be. Your vision will become blurry, and hallucinations will occur. Traveling to floor -9999 might take you to level achromatopsia. Level 141's deleted sublevels. We already talked about level 141, but here's a small refresher. This level is filled with boiling rooms and can be extremely dangerous because of the extreme temperatures. In early versions of the wiki.site, level 141 had references to sublevels. The employee break room was a way to enter sublevel 141.1 and 141.3. These sublevels never actually had pages to my knowledge. Level 200 and 201 name connection. Level 200 and 201 have a hidden name connection, as level 200 is known as home. You remember the nicest little town you've ever visited? Level 201 is known as level aesthetic, a level that takes place in an aesthetic and nostalgic VHS world. Level 201 always has a familiar and nostalgic music playing, such as elevator music, smooth jazz, and R&B, but ultimately slowed down and very mixed. Besides being the name for level 200, home is also the name of the popular music artist who makes synthwave/chillwave music. He is known for making songs like Resonance and We're Finally Landing. This type of music on YouTube usually has the same visual background as that of level 201 and is often stylized as aesthetics. Level generation. Many theories about the backrooms suggest that it's a simulation of some sorts, ran on a computer. Many details about levels support this theory. It being a simulation also makes sense for the non-Euclidean and infinite properties that can be found inside the backrooms. This will also probably mean that certain levels are generated while explored by wanderers. You can't store an infinite amount of data on a computer, so procedural generation is logical. This probably happens inside a lot of levels. Level 400. Level 400 is a black and white warehouse with metallic and ceramic tiles. The level is known to be an unsafe area, unsecure, and has undocumented entities. It is also infested with coders, a level-specific entity. Coders are fortunately friendly and appear to be human-like, wearing a red hoodie. You can't see their face because it's entirely made up out of a black void. Coders commonly offer wanderers water, food, and Wi-Fi. They are obsessed with modern technology and seem to have a ritualistic culture. There's a pyramid in the center of the room that is dangerous to enter because when you do, you will be at a point of no return. It can also cause you to enter the code, aka level 404. The coders in this level can also make you think that you entered a false coded level. You can get sent to a reserved but false level 0, where there are purple walls and a silent light instead of a yellow walls and fluorescent lights. The edge of level 0. The first description of the backrooms tells us that level 0 is approximately 600 million square miles large. This means that level 0 has an edge somewhere unless the level loops itself. No photos or documentations of the edge exist, but entering it will probably cause you to no-clip to level 1. Minecraft and backrooms connection. What I love about the backrooms is that it's very easy to recreate. Minecraft is often used for the recreation of the backrooms. There are also a lot of mods that try to remake the backrooms. It would make sense to say that the Backrooms and Minecraft are connected because the following statement was made by a Reddit user. One does not simply build the Backrooms. All iterations of the Backrooms are one and the same, just within different mediums. This would mean that every iteration of the Backrooms is accurate and is in some way connected to the real Backrooms. Violent entities. Violent entities refers to, well, all the violent entities. Not all entities are violent, such as the coders. However, many entities in the Backrooms are violent and will try to kill you. It is advised to stay out of levels out of many violent entities, as this can easily result in your death. Wiki drama. Wiki drama refers to the fact that the Wiki.dot website experiences a lot of drama from some users. The rules for the Wiki.dot are really strict and this causes to upset some people. As you already know, whenever a page has 5 or more downvotes, it's eligible for deletion or a rewrite. Some people also sometimes don't agree with the direction that the Wiki.dot is going. They only like the original lore, which is usually only level 0, 1 and 2, and sometimes just level 0. Entities can be controversial too, because liminal spaces are liminal due to the absence of any life, which enhances the feeling of nostalgia and loneliness. Having entities living inside levels somewhat disables this feeling, but only to some extent if you ask me. Mr. Ferrante unlisting wiki videos. As you might know, Mr. Ferrante is a YouTuber who often likes to make videos where he explains aspects of the Backrooms. Mr. Ferrante used to make videos about the Wiki.dot, but now changed to making videos about the liminal archives. He unlisted all of the videos about the Wiki.dot, meaning that you cannot search for them anymore. You can still watch them though, as they sit in a playlist on his channel. Level The Garden name meaning. You might remember this level as The Garden, a level filled with mulch and many entities. At first sight, this number in this level seems meaningless. This number is actually the highest 64-bit integer, meaning it's the highest number a coding language can handle. Any number beyond this cannot be accurately represented, meaning that the garden will always be the last level that has a place inside of the Backrooms code. deqy.mp3. This is a file that can be found on computers within the Backrooms. Attempting to open this file will cause you to teleport to a random level. Quantum tunneling. Quantum tunneling is an effect in quantum mechanics where a particle can go through a physical barrier because it doesn't have enough energy to go over the barrier. This phenomena happens because quantum physics are way different than normal physics. One theory suggests that no clipping is in a way related to quantum tunneling, as it's very comparable. Level 999. Level 999 is known as the Island of the Void and is the last level of Cluster 1. It has the appearance of a dark tropical island hovering over an endless, pitch-black void. The island has sand, palm trees and water, but is shrouded in complete and utter darkness. No confirmed entities on this level exist. Falling off the island will result in you falling onto the island from above. The more time you spend in level 999, the more hallucinations you will experience. These will consist out of your biggest regrets and the most horrible things you have done in your life. You will also experience visions that are described as torture. The level also has whispers that know everything about you. They will whisper things like, "You're hopeless" or "You deserve this." The only way to ever leave this place is to repent all of your sins. If you do this successfully, you will wake up in level 1000. If you are unable to repent your sins, you will either die or be sent back to level 0. Files on the End computer. We have already talked about the End, but just to clear things up, the End is an enigmatic level in the Backrooms that creates the illusion of escaping. The level is an endless modern library. Computers can be found inside the End. A wanderer wrote a certain warning on a computer that he found in the End. He tells us that one of his MEG partners was chased by a partygoer, an entity that morphs onto its victim to turn him into a partygoer. They are quiet, stealthy, and have leathery skin. You can usually spot them if you see a balloon floating in the air. There's also a theory that suggests that a certain .exe program on computers in the End will lead you to the hub. Negative levels. Negative levels are a certain type of enigmatic levels that exists within the Backrooms. Not a lot are discovered, but the ones that are seem to inherit some out-of-the-ordinary properties. The levels can be very unstable and can lead to very dangerous levels. You can usually enter negative levels if you no-clip out of the Backrooms. Backrooms ARGs. There don't seem to be that many Backrooms ARGs, but there's at least one that I find interesting and is actually still active. The best ARG I could find is made by the YouTube channel Dinnerbone777. This channel created some of the best Backrooms footage I have ever seen, with perfect ambience, lights, and of course the low quality camera footage. Explaining this footage will be a whole video on its own. If you're interested, you can watch this video named Who's Trapped in the Backrooms, where the channel Alter tries to explain this ARG. SCP clone. I believe most of you are familiar with what the SCP Foundation is, but I'll explain it anyway. The SCP Foundation is a fictional organization that tries to capture SCPs, entities that cannot be released into the public. SCP stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect. Some people believe that the Backrooms is inspired or is perhaps a clone of a SCP. The whole Backrooms lore definitely seems to be based on the SCP wiki. What might have inspired the original post is SCP-3008, known as the Infinite IKEA. It tells the story of a guy who is trapped inside this seemingly endless retail space. The space has communities, but also has violent entities that try to attack him. There is also a theory that the Backrooms itself is an SCP, but I find it unlikely for an organization to hold an alternate reality with an infinite space. AAAAAAA.exe. Before we can talk about this .exe file, you must know level Omega. According to some, level Omega is the final level in the Backrooms, hence the Omega symbol. The level has black walls, floors and ceiling that absorb 100% of the light. The most interesting thing about level Omega is that there is a laptop that controls the entirety of the Backrooms. All levels are represented as folders and the entities as configurable files. The configs runs on a file named AAAA.exe. Running this file will open a box that lets you open a configuration. This will let you change the human entities files, meaning that you can actually delete humans. Deleting the files is all you can do, as changing anything about it will make the program crash. Hallucinations. If you want to survive inside of the Backrooms, you need to keep your sanity. One easy way to do this is to sleep or drink almond water. One effect that many wanderers notice when they're going crazy is the hallucinations. Hallucinations are common within the Backrooms, as some levels contain them naturally. However, most levels don't. Hallucinations can start out small, but can become dangerous, as they might even drive wanderers to suicide. Missing people. Everyone has heard of cases of people that have gone missing and never returned. Some of these cases can be explained by things like drowning or fake suicides. Some cases, however, don't make any sense and don't have any supporting theories. It is believed that a lot of people go missing because they entered the Backrooms and never came out of there, to either wander endlessly or die. There is fortunately some developing on this problem, as there are certain Backrooms groups that focus on missing people. One example is the International Extra-Dimensional Missing Persons Investigation Committee, or IEMPIC. Their main focus is distorting space-time so that they can now create wormholes to start saving people. Their plan unfortunately failed, and it seems for now that they are stuck here too. The center of the Backrooms. This entry refers to a theory that suggests that the Backrooms is located in some sort of void in the universe, where the center of this void is the most distorted. This would mean that the most distorted level, let's say level 1.5 for now, exists in the center of the void. The further you go from the void, the more quote-unquote normal the level becomes, such as level 4 for instance. Level 7 and 8 and Bermuda Triangle Connection. I believe most of you are familiar with the Bermuda Triangle, an oceanic triangle formed by Bermuda, Miami and Puerto Rico. Many planes have been lost above the Bermuda Triangle because of its supposed very severe UFO/extraterrestrial activity. Now, if you recall correctly, level 7 is an infinite ocean filled with distilled water, and level 8 is an infinite cave system with caverns and underground systems. Level 7 and 8 are very much connected with each other. This theory suggests that lost ships and airplanes from the Bermuda Triangle actually end up inside of level 7 and sometimes in level 8. This can make sense, as level 7 is not only very underexplored, it is also the home of shipwrecks, as we found out with level 7.2, which is basically the replica of the Titanic wreck. There are two level Omegas. We've already talked about level Omega, but this level is more specifically known as level capital Omega, as we found that there is also a lowercase level Omega. The other level, Omega, is an intergalactic space. You can float around here, but don't stare at the view as you will experience an extreme pain when you do this. Level Omega can lead you to a giant maze that has hallways for a mental asylum. If you escape this maze, you can exit the level. Failing to escape this maze will cause you to face something worse than the Backrooms. The level holds the first humanoid entity that ever entered the Backrooms. Entities are fake. Entities are fake refers to the theory that all entities in the Backrooms are just hallucinations. There isn't a lot of evidence to support this existence of any entity, besides other wanderers, of course. This theory begins to make more sense if you take into account what I said about liminal spaces. Having life inside a liminal space removes the liminality. Entities might only exist within your mind. Backrooms varies person to person. We have many sources that contain information about the Backrooms on the internet. I'm talking about the subreddit, the fandom, the wikidot and liminal archives. Many levels that have been written don't align with each other. This would suggest that the Backrooms is not experienced in the same way and is in fact different for every person. The Backrooms are an error. We have already talked about how the Backrooms is some kind of simulated alternative reality. What if I told you that the Backrooms was never meant to be created and got created because of an error in the source code? This actually seems to make sense since so many levels inherit weird properties and glitches. You might relate this theory to the center of the Backrooms entry. The further the level is away from the center, the less distorted it is. This would mean that the center levels contain the most errors in their code, thus explaining why these levels are so unstable. An error made in coding doesn't just affect one line of code, but usually a whole string and sometimes even more. The Backrooms creation date. Let's take a look at the Backrooms timeline. The original photo of level 0 was posted on 4chan in 2019. This would be the earliest version of this photo. It wasn't called the Backrooms back then, but unsettling images that just feel off. A user later replied with the famous narrative that we all know. This would go on to become the first piece of Backrooms lore. I like to believe whenever this narrative was posted, the Backrooms was created. That creation date would be 12 May 2019. However, I don't think you can really call this the creation date, as the Backrooms has existed for centuries and it's probably been written about, but just in other forms. It just came to light in 2019 after this post, but the actual place has been in existence for a very long time. The Backrooms is a debug area. What is a debug area, you might ask? Well, a debug area is a term used in computer language to describe a certain software that can be used to detect and remove existing and potential errors. The Backrooms could very well be exactly that, as you will experience a lot of glitched things inside the Backrooms. The properties within the Backrooms are in fact so strange that it makes sense to be some kind of testing place. Empty space theory. The empty space theory tells us that somewhere in the universe there is a place where light and matter don't reach. We don't know if this exists and we cannot detect it, but it makes sense if you apply the physical attributes of lights and matter. Since the alternative universe we call the Backrooms is so massive, it could be located inside all of this empty space. We already know that the Backrooms do exist in some kind of void that is extremely dark. We have all been in the Backrooms. Everyone might have been inside of the Backrooms. A lot of 4chan users underneath the original post said that they have seen the picture of level 0 in their dreams. Every photo or video from these liminal spaces has this weird nostalgia to it. We feel this nostalgia because we actually have been there before, but this memory is stored very deeply. The only way to feel like you've accessed this memory is seeing the picture of the place you've already visited again. Many people might be unaware, but we probably have all already been inside of the Backrooms. Glitched objects. This is pretty rare, but some levels can sometimes contain glitched objects. Here's a photo of a wanderer who supposedly found a glitched plant inside level 1. You should never touch these objects, as they might send you to a random level. Butterfly effect. The butterfly effect refers to the fact that even within the Backrooms, small changes can make bigger changes happen. Some levels are the reason why other levels were discovered. A level like 696, the infinite building one, was only discovered because of level 423. Level 423 was found because of level 300, and so on. Levels altered by partygoers. As you have learned, partygoers are dangerous entities inside of the Backrooms that will try to latch onto you to turn you into a partygoer. The partygoers live inside level fun. Now, partygoers can be found almost everywhere in the Backrooms. They are always traveling and sometimes alter the levels in various ways. Even the MEG pages sometimes can be changed by the partygoers. Whenever this happens, it is very important to delete that page. Unarchived deleted levels. This entry refers to all the deleted levels that haven't been archived. This unfortunately means that there is no way to view certain deleted levels. Unreleased information. This is a theory that states that a lot of Backrooms information is withheld from us. I mean, just look at the Wikidot. There are so many levels that just don't have data yet. Some information is definitely unreleased in order to keep the population safe. It could be the Major Explorer group that is behind this. Entering through lucid dreams. You might be familiar with the recent trend of reality shifting, a way to move your consciousness from your current reality to your desired reality. This is kinda similar to the whole lucid dreaming phenomenon and using it to your advantage. As you know, lucid dreaming is a practice in which you are able to control your dreams. This skill can be obtained by a lot of practice and patience. Some people might be able to actually enter the backrooms by lucid dreaming. This can have benefits as it might be more safe. Be aware because this can cause you to wake up inside the backrooms. First person in the backrooms. Not a lot is known about this, but there had to be a first person to enter the backrooms. The backrooms are practically timeless, so this person probably lived a long time ago. The first person that ever entered might actually be alive because of the time properties. He or she might be wandering through the levels and never return to the front rooms. Other entrances to the backrooms. The most common way to enter is of course by no-clipping. We have talked about the scale of lucid dreaming, but no one has confirmed that this is a legitimate way of entering the backrooms. It is believed that there are in fact way more ways to enter. One way might be using hallucinogenic drugs. If you've ever heard of the elevator game, you might know that performing this game correctly will cause you to enter to an alternate universe. This place might be related to the backrooms in a way. Other methods include rituals and meditation. Backrooms population. The backrooms are extremely large, so finding humans can be very hard. There are groups and populations, but these are very scarce. Level 0 is about 600 million square miles, which is about 3 times as great as the Earth's square mileage, which is about 197 million square miles. And this is only level 0. You can imagine that finding other people will be close to impossible without communication. It is however stated that the backrooms population may be very large. About 100 million people enter every decade. Not every single one stays of course, but some do. We can find all of this information on computers in the end. As of 2021, 12 billion people have at one point in our history entered the backrooms. The backrooms is purgatory. This theory already came up briefly, but I will explain this more thoroughly. Purgatory is known as the place between heaven and hell, a place where people go that died in God's friendship. These people receive their eternal salvation, but still need some form of purification in order to enter heaven. Purgatory is ultimately a place of judgment, the final crossroad of some sorts. Now let's say that the backrooms is in fact purgatory. This will be interesting because we already have level 666, a place that is literally called Hell. There's also level 254, called Blue Heaven. Most importantly, we have level Theta. Level Theta is almost written in a way of God talking to you, as it says that it's judge, jury and executioner. I can agree to the theory that the backrooms is in fact purgatory, but I do believe that hell and heaven does exist in the backrooms too, as you never truly leave the backrooms. Level 0 Real World Location. This is truly one of the greatest mysteries on the internet, but I think we're close to solving it. We are of course talking about the original 2019 Level 0 photo that was posted on 4chan. The original photo seems to depict a seemingly abandoned 70s or 80s office building with yellow wallpaper. Now this is not confirmed, but many people believe that the original photo is in fact yellow shifted. Both the weird angle and the off-putting coloring make the photo eerie. The closest we ever got to figuring out where this photo was taken was in a Reddit post from 1 year ago, in which a user stated that another user recognized the photo as a place in his old office job. The person anonymously told the name of the company, and this is the photo the user found. Everything about this is very similar to the original photo, down to the wall size. The non-yellow shifted photo looks even more alike. If we do a reverse image search, we can find that this photo was taken on Main Street 6 in Ogdensburg, New York. Looking for a multi-store on Google Maps on this location will be unsuccessful. It might be the case that that building was destroyed, meaning we will never explore the inside of level 0. Fortunately, there's still hope, as we might not be looking hard enough. This is the best information we have right now. Area 51. Let's say that the government found out about the backrooms. Wouldn't they want to hold the information about this? This theory suggests that either the backrooms are located in Area 51 or that Area 51 holds some secret information. It makes sense, and this is definitely something that could be dangerous, but can also be important for science, as anomalies like the backrooms can be used for scientific experiments. The Matrix theory. This basically takes the whole backrooms as a simulation theory and turns it completely around. The Matrix theory states that all humans already live inside of the backrooms, but their bodies are unconscious. Every human is hooked up to a computer in some way, and whenever they enter the backrooms, they actually wake up. This would mean that our real world is a simulation and the backrooms itself is the real world. Earth to backrooms portals. Some believe that Earth holds some secret portals that can make you enter the backrooms. The portals can be in storage rooms, abandoned places, and even in caves or mines. One portal-like theory named the Michigan Blue Hell might also be related to the backrooms. The Michigan Blue Hell is a conspiracy theory that states that there is an extensive underground tunnel system in Michigan where you can essentially leave reality. Sounds a lot like no clipping if you ask me. Government files. This entry is closely related to the Area 51 one, as it suggests that the government holds files that contain information about the backrooms. This information can include many possible things such as level layouts, descriptions of the backrooms, and people that got lost because they ended up in the backrooms. Quantum immortality. Before we can apply this theory to the backrooms, you have to understand what quantum immortality is. Quantum immortality basically states that whenever something happens, new versions of reality are made. Let's say you're stuck in a room with a bomb. This bomb has a 50% chance to go off every 10 minutes. Of course, you would conclude out of this that you have a 0% survival rate. Quantum physics sees this differently, because every time the bomb will go off, you will live on in another universe where the bomb didn't go off. This is because you can only experience the universe in which you live. According to quantum immortality, you can never die in this room by the bomb. Now let's apply this to the backrooms. What if I say that whenever someone dies inside the backrooms, another parallel universe is created where they didn't die and thus live on? Outsiders will still experience the death of said person because they didn't switch universes, but the person itself will live on. Time travel. Time inside the backrooms is slowed down immensely. Imagine you building a machine that can take you to the backrooms and back to the front rooms whenever you want. We don't know exactly how much time is slowed down in the backrooms, but take this property as an example. Let's say that whenever 1 hour on Earth passes, you will experience this as 10 hours in the backrooms. If you use this imaginary machine to go to the backrooms, spent 30 hours in there and then went back, this would mean that you essentially traveled back 27 hours in time, as those 30 hours in the backrooms only equal to 3 hours on Earth. It is very hard to wrap your head around this concept, but I believe that there is definitely something to it. Nothing is forgotten. This entry states that whenever you leave the backrooms, you forget everything naturally. Some memories in your brain you just can't recall, but are activated when you experience certain things. It is almost as if your brain never truly forgets anything. This can be applied to the backrooms, because most people were once in the backrooms but don't remember it. Only a few people can actually recall it. Let's take a look at level 12. You cannot take photographs here, and wanderers seem to forget this level whenever they leave. It turns out that people can actually remember level 12, only under the right circumstances. You can also link this theory with liminal spaces. Ever thought about why these photos are so nostalgic? It might be because you once were there, but you only forgot until you looked at this photo. Nothing is truly forgotten. The grave isn't real. This theory is based on the quantum immortality entry. I'll explain the grave first. The grave is the lowermost level of the backrooms, without a number or calculatable depth. The grave is known as the destination for ensouled beings that die within the backrooms. Before the grave was discovered, wanderers presumed that dying in the backrooms functioned the same way as dying on Earth. The grave looks very much like Earth itself, with a few noticeable differences, such as an extremely large two-handed sword, a colossal mountain-sized machine, and a statue of 1,000 feet tall. Death is the only known entrance to the grave. If quantum mortality were to be real, meaning you cannot die in the backrooms, then the grave wouldn't be real. As you can see, this proposes a problem, since one cannot exist without the other. The only way for the grave to be real, if quantum immortality were true, is if the grave had a different function that is still unknown to us. This could be true considering the insufficient amount of information we have about the grave. Created by scientists. All of this could be one giant experiment that presumably has gone wrong. The backrooms itself is such a fascinating concept, and the properties that exist within are really one to experience. One reason why scientists created the backrooms is for psychological experiments. Wouldn't this dimension be perfect to break someone's mind? All the hallucinations, strange events and endless hallways. It almost seems perfect to use as some kind of isolation therapy. The problem with this and many other theories is there isn't a consistent way to enter and exit. Obscure levels / ARGs. With the coming of new backrooms ARGs, new levels are sometimes created. These can be quite obscure, as they are usually not discovered yet. Just look at this one, as it seems to be an infinite hallway of storage spaces. Also, the Wikidot has some really interesting levels from the backrooms, and I encourage you to check them out for yourself. Most reads on there are super interesting, so I'm sure many of you will like it. You can even use this random level button if you don't know what page you want to read. Backrooms games make you take over unused models. We can assume that unused models are models that are scrapped by God. He planned to use these for our universe. This theory suggests that whenever you play a Backrooms game, you actually take over control over an unused model of the Backrooms. Google Maps. If you go to Google Maps and type in Backrooms of FHN, you will find this high school. If you scroll down to the photos and click all, you will see an image of what looks like level 0 in the backrooms. Is this the real location of level 0? Unfortunately, I don't think so, because you can just add photos to Google Maps places like this. This is just a high school in Missouri. The place also has some Google Maps reviews of people that say that they were inside of the backrooms here. Backroom streams. This refers to the fact that some people have live streamed themselves while being in the backrooms. Footage of this is probably somewhere out there, but it's hard to find. Malaysia Air Flight 370. As many of you know, the Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is an airplane that disappeared in the Indian Ocean on March 8, 2014. The Boeing 777 had 227 passengers on board. What is weird about this crash is that the wreck has never actually been found. Now, of course, the ocean is large, but isn't it a bit weird that we don't have any idea where this wreck is? The crash holds many conspiracy theories, but you almost never see anyone link the crash with the backrooms. What if the plane didn't crash, but instead no-clipped into the backrooms? This theory is very obscure, but it's also low on the list, so it makes sense. The exit. Now, the most important entry of them all, the exit. How do you actually exit the backrooms? It seems that wanderers are constantly getting tricked into finding an exit. The end seems like an exit, but unfortunately it's just a trap. Fake realities, fake exits, traps and other hallucinations are constant, but we keep looking. We see so many wanderers that think that they found an exit. Sometimes they see an exit sign, light from outside or other false promises. The terrifying thing is that there is no real end or exit. Not a physical one. Perhaps we haven't found it. Maybe the backrooms don't want you to leave. Maybe you cannot leave. You can try to meditate, imagine the front rooms. This might work, but beware. I for one believe you never truly leave. You can never truly leave the backrooms. You cannot leave what isn't there. Well, there it is, you made it. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, because I certainly did. I now have a Discord server, so be sure to join if you're interested. There's a link in the description. Also, don't forget to give this video a like if you want to see more and you enjoyed it. I gotta say, I just, love the backrooms. If you like this type of content and you want to read more on certain levels, you can. There are links to all the wikis in the description, and I advise you do so because some levels on there are so interesting. It's such a fun read, and I just love the backrooms. Thanks again to Honeygain for the sponsorship. Thanks to Reddit user LCY2K07 for helping me out. And thank you guys for watching and subscribing. It really means a lot.